Hey, I'm Bill Meeks, and this is Hey You, What's Up?
I like you a lot. Do you like me a lot? We like a lot of the same stuff, so why don't we hang out?
Hey, Rebecca, what's up?
Hey, Bill, what's going on?
Not too much. I feel like I was just talking to you. Weird.
That's so weird. I don't know how that happens.
This is actually, I think, the first time I recorded 2 episodes with the same person back to back, so you should feel honored.
I am extremely honored.
Excellent. Okay, well, when we wrapped up our last episode, we were about to start talking a little about your trip to New York City and SNL and everything. Why don't you tell me a little about that?
Yeah, so Saturday Night Live is really hard to get tickets for. So what you have to do is you have to email. They'll send out like a notice like on Twitter or the website or whatever and saying, "Hey, go ahead and send us an email for the lottery now." So last year I did that. I think it was like in August. So if you ever want to do it, it's around the summertime. And so I sent an email, just said, "Hey, I want to be considered for the lottery." And I kind of forgot about it for a while. And because when I got tickets for the show, it was in May. So this had been, I don't know, what is that, 9 months? So I totally had forgotten that I'd done that. And so at some point in May, I had gotten this email that said, "Hey, you have 2 tickets to Saturday Night Live." And I was like, sweet. So, but the cool thing about it was my friend Julie and I had made this pact. Like we were going to send emails saying that we wanted to be in the lottery. And so if she had gotten the tickets, she was going to take me. And if I got the tickets, I was going to take her. So Julie and I went up there.
It was like one of those marriage pacts, except with Saturday Night Live, right?
So sort of, yeah, because we both really wanted to go and we knew how hard it was to get tickets. And the funny thing about it was that a week after I got my tickets, my brother had called me up and said, "You're never going to believe this." And I was like, "What's going on?" And he said, "Well, my friend Josh got tickets for the same night for the same show, and he's going to let me go with him." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." So my brother and I actually got tickets to go to the same show. So we ended up going to the Saturday Night Live finale, and for the live show taping, they do a dress rehearsal and they do an actual taping. And it was the one hosted by Andy Samberg, and it was crazy cool. We got some really good seats. You have to like line up and kind of get in this line and get your tickets and then go through security and do all of that. And they're really...
So there's not like assigned seating or anything like that?
No. And it's funny. I demanded that we all get there really early. So we ended up being the first people in the line. We started the line. And they're really intense about the security with like phones and stuff. They don't want you recording or taking pictures, which really sucks because I saw a lot of famous people that night. And I can't prove that I met them or saw them because when we sat in the studio, we were right behind the guests of Andy Samberg. So I don't know if you watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but
I went through most of the first season based on how much you talk about it on Twitter. Actually, I kind of like, playing it in the background while I'm working or whatever. And it's really funny. It's really good.
It's one of my favorite shows on TV. It is so fun. And so Boyle and Santiago and Diaz were sitting right in front of us. And I have no way to prove this except my testimony and the testimony of other people. But they were sitting right in front of us. And we kind of talked to them a little bit. And it was funny because...
Well, I totally don't believe you.
Well, you're just going to have to go on my word because I'm also pretty sure I saw Sebastian Stan in the elevator, but I can't, I couldn't be one of those people who got out my phone and was like, "Hey, can we take a selfie real quick?" Because I couldn't get out my phone.
Yeah, Sebastian Stan, if people aren't aware, he played the Winter Soldier in the last Captain America movie, and he was also the Mad Hatter on Once Upon a Time, which is how me and Rebecca know each other, actually. She used to host a Once Upon a Time podcast, and I still do.
Right. God bless you.
It's a struggle some days.
I'm sure. I admire your endurance. But it was fun. We had a really good time, and we had good seats, and you could see everything. And what I thought was really cool is I don't know how much you watch SNL, but like every episode they show like the clock. There's like a clock in there, and they kind of have this like crane shot that goes past the clock.
Yeah, over to the band and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was cool because we actually got to see the dude. He actually sets the clock. So he actually like moves the hands and everything. And so I was like, they do it just for that one shot.
Oh, wow.
So those little things were kind of neat. And like you could see like somebody grabbing Andy Samberg's hand and like literally dragging him to the next thing, like literally running with him. So it's very fast paced, and all the sets are layered. So they'll like peel a set, for the next sketch and then peel the next layer and then peel. So it's very well organized, very well done. So
Yeah, from watching it on TV and stuff, it always, or the way I read the room was that they had like basically like three staging areas. Like they have like the main stage and then two off to the side. Or am I seeing that wrong and the cameras are tricking me?
yeah, no, they have sets all around the room. So there could be a place where you might sit on one part of the studio and not be able to see the sketch.
Oh,
So
wow.
but we were kind of in the middle. So we could see, there was one that we couldn't see kind of down and to the left. There was like a camping sketch that they did on that show. So we couldn't really see that one, but we could see most everything. And there was one thing I didn't talk about in that video that I made that you were talking about on YouTube was that there's a sketch with some porn stars who like try to sell you stuff. It's like one of my favorite things they do. And Kristen Wiig was in that sketch, and it was really fun to watch her because she would be off camera, but she would be laughing at the sketch, which I thought was really cool. She wasn't in it, but she was still thought it was funny. Like she was still into the sketch and the comedy of it all.
Yeah, well,
And she didn't have to be the center of attention.
she's not on the show anymore, right? So she probably just got in like a day or two before, so some of it was probably actually fresh to her, I'd imagine.
Right. Yeah. No, unfortunately, she's not on the show anymore, which sucks. But it was fun to see, because a ton of them came back. Maya Rudolph was there. And it's another funny thing about Maya Rudolph coming in because she did this awesome Beyonce sketch. And we in the studio could see her before she got on camera, and the people at home could see her. So we were like, oh my gosh, that is Maya Rudolph, it's Beyonce. So we were already laughing before she even showed up. So that was kind of the cool stuff to be able to see things before it happened. Like even Andy Samberg did this Hunchback sketch, and we could see him as the Hunchback before like they even went on TV. And so it was just one of those things you already knew it was going to be funny because you could see it beforehand. So
Were any of the jokes spoiled for you by stuff happening off stage, or like you caught a punchline on a cue card or anything like that?
No, I don't think so because we couldn't see the cue cards. But I mean, visually, you could tell like whether this was going to be funny or not. Like, what's her face? Who did? She's not on the show anymore, but she did like Kim Kardashian. Like you could tell like that was going to be funny. She does
Chris
such
Elliott's daughter.
no. I don't know if it's Nassim or not. But she, I think she left the show this year. You could tell like, oh, I love her Kim Kardashian. This is going to be funny. Like just when you could see who was going to show up, you knew it was going to be a good time.
Yeah, I'm trying to Google who it was. Nassim Pedrad.
Yeah. I think that's who that is because she does this great Kim Kardashian. So I highly recommend like if people really love Saturday Night Live, make sure you get in the lottery because it's really hard to get because they do have like standby, like you can wait in a line.
Yeah.
But I don't know how that actually works. I don't think that's very successful.
Like that's something if I lived in New York City, I would totally go down there some random Saturday to try and get in. But like you don't want to travel and hope to get in on standby or something.
Yeah, no, I would only travel if I had the tickets. And it was funny because we only had like 2 weeks or something to like get the plane ticket, find a hotel. I was very fortunate that my brother had like some points he could use for the New York Palace Hotel, which was super nice. And I was kind of geeked out about it because there was this like patio that was actually used for a scene in 30 Rock. So I was like, oh my gosh, I am so into this right now. and you would have liked it. I found Midtown Comics. I don't know if you follow them on Twitter or not.
I've only seen their advertisements in the middle of every comic book I've read since like 1990.
Right. So I checked them out and I bought a very expensive issue of Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane. I really should not have spent that much money, but I was like, I don't find, because I don't know about you, but I mean, I look for those things and I can't find them in every comic book store. Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane is very hard to come by. So when I saw some of those, I was like, yeah, well, I'll take a look at those. Maybe.
And a lot of really interesting stories in that book too, especially once they hit the 70s. Like during like the 50s and 60s, it was kind of like, oh, here's another imaginary story where Lois is married to Superman and has super kids. But then once you get into the 70s, you have like the kind of like social kind of issue comics like I Am Curious Black, where she becomes a black woman for.
Oh, that is so. That's actually famous. I've never read that one, but I don't know. Do you watch Comic Book Men on AMC?
I have.
I actually really love that show. I know some comic book fans don't like it. But there was a girl who actually came in. I think she wanted to buy that issue. And I knew exactly what she was talking about when she came in, and I was like, I know that cover. It's sort of embarrassing, but I collect. I mean, not embarrassing for me. Like, I enjoy it, but I mean, some of those stories are a little embarrassing and dated. But I collect issues of Superman's Girlfriend Lois Lane, so I'm sort of familiar with the covers, but I don't get to read them, unfortunately, because I can't get my hands on some of them. So yeah, there's some crazy stories. Like, I think one time she got turned into a horse or had cat legs or something like that. Like, she's not doing a lot of reporting.
Hey, this is Bill. I was just editing together the episode and realized that for some reason, my recording software decided to drop like the last minute of Rebecca's interview, unfortunately, so I don't get to hang up on her officially on the podcast. But if you want to follow her online, you can follow her on Twitter at DerbyKid, and you can follow her YouTube channel where she has the video of her SNL trip at youtube.com/user/duckmilkprod. Again, that's youtube.com/user/duckmilkprod. I want to thank Rebecca for joining me today, and we'll have another episode with her in a couple weeks.
I like you a lot.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hey You What's Up. Want to come on the show? Sign up at heyyouwhatsup.com/letmebeyou. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Bill Meeks, and you can find the show at heyyouwhatsup.com. Talk to you later.
I like you.